Video for tract 15 at the Mule Shoe Project. Beautiful property. It's about 10 acres in size. It borders County Road 66 along its entire north side. There are about 18 tracts total out here, and this is tract 15. They're all very close to the Mule Shoe Conservation Area, which is a couple thousand acres of public land that's generally open for hunting. They've got campsites. There are miles of trails. There's actually over a mile of the Little Niangua River that runs through the conservation area, and it's a beautiful, clear river that you can use for swimming and fishing and canoeing and all that good stuff. But all the tracts have direct county road frontage, which is awesome. Some of the tracts, and this being one of them, actually do have a power line directly on site. So on this tract 15, which you can see toward the middle here, the yellow dashed line is indicating the power line that runs across the north side of the property. So that is available if you need it. About 330 feet of frontage on the county road on its north side, and then goes back to the south for about a quarter mile, for about 1,320 feet. As we look at the property, this is we're using the MapRight interactive map. This is a Google base map, and you can kind of change and do different ones once you're playing with MapRight, and you'll be able to see the interactive map on the listing page for this property. But the Google base map right now is showing a wintertime aerial. So it makes it easy to tell the hardwood trees from the cedar trees. So the darker colored splotches you see are generally going to be cedar trees, but predominantly this property is hardwood timber. So red oak, white oak, hickory. The guys have seen so many different species of trees out here. Black walnut, I believe pecan trees, quite a few that they name that I wouldn't be able to identify personally, but some of the guys out there were. So the property itself, just to kind of quickly go over this white dashed line that you see is actually an existing trail or road that's on the property. It actually starts over here by tract 16 toward the county road, but we just mapped out the portion that's on tract 15. Because it's not an easement for anybody else to use. It just is a private trail on your property. So we just mapped it out on this tract. But one idea might be to kind of create your own driveway going back, 200-300 feet to link up with that trail. And then you'd have a pre-existing trail to take you all the way through the property. In a minute, we'll switch over to a topo map, and you'll see why they put that trail there. This particular tract 15, I guess we haven't checked every tract, but my gut is telling me that this has more level usable property than any other property out here, even the one or two tracts that are larger than this one. Why don't let's go ahead and switch to a topo map, and I guess I'll have to put my money where my mouth is. There we go. Okay. So if we zoom out a little bit, we can see all 18 tracts. And it looks like what I said is pretty much accurate. The only other tract that would have even close to the same amount of level area would be this tract 5, which is 15 acres. And looking at that, I don't think that has as much level area as this particular tract 15 does. So if you look at this, if you're familiar with topo maps, this makes sense. If not, it looks kind of funky. But what it's showing us is that there's essentially a wide level ridge running through the center of the property, and that's why that trail's there. And then as you get to the north side, it's still essentially flat. The lines are so far apart that when you're out there on ground level, this would probably look essentially flat. But you can check out the drone video and the ground video. Why don't we just start then at the county road? So let's say we're on the county road, we're going southerly. It's rising up as you go south, but it's very, very gradual. I mean, there's a lot of space between those contour lines, which means it's a gradual rise. As we're getting out here into this I guess ridge area, it stays flat as you go southerly, and then really it's not until you get to the southern part of the property that if you were to go to the southeast corner, it actually slopes down from that ridge. And this little section would be about the only judging by the topo map, about the only part of this property that really has any steepness to it. And even that doesn't look very steep. So easy to see why there would be an existing trail. And you see that in the Ozarks, since the Ozarks are known for hills and hollers and ups and downs, and for the most part, not that much flat level ground. When there was a good ridge, it got used for a road or a trail at some point, and then it just continued. So that's why you're seeing this existing road, because there's this beautiful wide ridge on this property. But again, that is not an access easement for anybody else to use. So it would be really convenient if you were to clear, maybe a little driveway and link up to that trail on your property. You would have instant access all the way through it. So beautiful tract. I think if we go to the Google base map and zoom in a little bit, we could probably see, well, we might have to remove that white line. You can see a little bit, some entire tracks there, but and we have been on that trail. We haven't been all the way to the south side of the property, but we have actually been on that trail with a truck. And it looks like it hasn't been used in years, but man, if you wanted a property with a private site, again, creating a driveway and linking up with that trail, you could drive right to the south end of your property, which is awesome. So good access. The county road frontage itself is essentially level, really more so than just about any other tract out here. Tract 16, the neighboring tract, is very level at the county road, but actually as you go southerly on tract 16, it slopes down. You've got a bit of a valley area, certainly a usable property, but it's this tract 15 that we're looking at right now that has, like we said earlier, probably the most usable ground. Usable meaning, level, usable for a level building site. More usable ground than any other tract out here. All these tracks are awesome certainly for hunting and recreation, and as far as we can tell, every one of them has some kind of site that could potentially be a good building site or a campsite. But tract 15 kind of blows a lot of the competition out of the water, I guess you'd say. Yeah, that's gorgeous tract. Having the electric physically on the property is amazing. If you've ever done a campsite or a building site that requires electric and you've gotten that set up, you know that it can be a headache. I mean, some power companies are easier to deal with than others, but by and large, you're going to have some legwork to do to get power on a property that, if power's not in the area already. But in this case, it's physically on the property. You've got the residential line running right over that north side, so that is awesome. Back to the Google map here, and let's zoom out a little bit. So tract 15, super private, again, one of the northern tracks. Frontage on County Road 66. To get to the conservation area, just go west on County Road 66 for about half a mile, then go south on County Road 525 for about a quarter mile, and you're at the conservation area. The main access is a little further down. This County Road 96 goes right through it. You can see the Little Niangua River, which is gorgeous, very clear river, nice for fishing and canoeing and kayaking and swimming for sure. You can hunt for arrowheads in the river and on the river banks. It's really cool. The conservation area is a total of about 2,800 acres. I know we zoomed way out here, but it's in 2 large tracts and then 1 or 2 small tracts. The largest of the tracts is the one that is the closest to this property. But either way, I mean, you've got your own private acreage where you can kind of do your thing, set up your cabin or your hunt camp or your home or your camper potentially, have your private acreage, and then have essentially immediate access into a couple thousand acres of additional land for hunting, and they've got campsites and recreation. So if you and your buddies want to do a deer hunting trip, your buddies can bring their buddies and they can bring their buddies, and you can have your main camp on your private acreage, and you guys and girls can kind of spread out and explore the conservation area. And I mean, you can have dozens of different spots to hunt, all based out of your own private 10-acre property, which is great. So yeah, awesome tract. Wish we had 100 of these, but we don't. We've only got 18 total at the Mule Shoe Project. Only a few of those, about half of those, I guess, or less maybe, have power on site. And very, very few, well, we kind of looked around. There basically aren't any other tracks that have as much level area as this one, as tract 15 does. So very special property. Obviously, you'll want to check out the drone video, check out the ground video. We've not fully explored any of these tracks, but I think the videos are helpful. So yeah, check it all out, read about all the info. If you have any questions, let us know. We're here to answer your questions. You can call us, you can email us. We would certainly love to hear from you.